Hello, and welcome to this special Christmas episode of Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on episode 11 of Ore Monogatari. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So, it seems like this is going to be another sort of like standalone type episode. You know, last time there was that whole bit with the mountains and being stranded outside, but now it seems like, I guess like a summer episode and all that entails. Oh, I know where this is going, a bad report card. You know, there aren't subtitles, but I imagine a lot of ones on that report card is, indicative of poor marks. Alright, so then there's also the beach, I guess. That's probably like the main conflict, you know. Can he really justify going to the beach after receiving such poor grades? Alright. So I thought this was going to be like a quick cut to Takeo talking to his mom, but it seems like he's sort of wrangling all his friends into going too. You know, this is probably not what they had in mind. You know, Yamato and her friends, but now I'm wondering, like, what's the deal here? Is Takeo going to go on some sort of, like, rant about the traditional use of swimsuits and all that? Yeah, you know, I think I know what the conflict is going to be. You know, swimsuits and all that, like... Yeah, I mean, if Yamato has to buy a new one, then this is a dilemma for her, too, you know? Like... Wow. That's an evocative choice. She's, Alright, what's the deal here? Why is she picking all these, like, really, really skimpy swimsuits? Like, that's gonna cause problems for sure. I mean, it's interesting that I guess her deal here is that compared to him, she would look unimpressive, so she has to compensate. But I feel like, you know, she doesn't necessarily have to do that. And at the same time, you know, just even something like kind of plain would be enough, I feel like. You know, I guess it's kind of a nice dilemma to have in the grand scheme of things, but you know, I kind of shudder to think how her friends are going to help her resolve this. Especially after the sort of, misunderstanding over the phone call yesterday. Or in the previous episode, rather. I mean, at least they're getting on board with helping her. And they don't seem to be giving bad advice. Alright, so it seems like there's time until going to the beach, so there's time enough for that poor report card to rear its ugly head. And interestingly, it seems like they're actually going like a good distance to go to the beach. I mean, Japan's an island, so I feel like they've got plenty of beaches if nothing else. And I guess maybe this is a personal bias of mine, because I've always sort of lived nearby the beach anyhow, even though I was never much of a beach goer. I don't know. I guess I just thought it was a little weird that they're packing and making all these provisions for going to the beach. I guess, there's a bit of a complication in that it sounds like there might be a typhoon. Inclement weather changes things for sure. I mean, I guess they don't seem too overly concerned about it. Yeah, Takeo, he certainly does seem excited to go to the beach, having already inflated all of the inner tubes and all that, and, I know there's that sort of traditional game where you smack the watermelon and crack it open, but, 3 whole watermelons, that's a lot. I mean, I guess I can't blame Takeo to a degree if he said he really liked seeing the sunset by the ocean. I mean, I guess that would kind of be a good romantic thing to do. But, unfortunately, it seems like that typhoon is, an actual kind of serious deal if it's making, like, the lights flicker and all that. I mean, I guess seeing as how it just cut to the next day, it's not really a big deal, However stormy it was, it passed overnight. I'm wondering what the point of that was, to just sort of bring it up and then kind of dismiss it right away. I mean, I guess this would take an awkward tonal shift if this were to turn, maybe not necessarily into a disaster movie, but something where they have to contend with a typhoon. I don't know. Like, I don't think it would be totally outside the realm of possibility if Takeo were to do something superhuman again, but I don't know. It just seems weird to me that they kind of brought that up and then it just came and went and there was no consequence to it. Like, not everything has to be foreshadowed or to set up and become a big thing later, but just the immediate payoff of it not being a problem or anything, that just strikes me as kind of weird. I guess if nothing else, the girls don't have to worry too much, seeing as how Takeo is on patrol, swimsuits are for swimming and all that. Although, one has to wonder if he's going to take the same attitude now that he's seen Yamato. I guess fortunately they're both kind of, shell-shocked, for want of a better term. Alright, yeah, so no preamble, just taking off the shirt and all that. That's not gonna help the situation in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, I bet, Yamato's kinda regretting not getting that one leopard print bikini just to stand out. I mean, to be fair to Takeo, he is absolutely shredded. Because, sort of like in the early episodes, I was kind of under the impression that he was just like an inordinately big guy and his strength was a function of that, but like he seems to be like actually built. So it seems like they have a good list of activities to do, although Takeo might be taking it a bit too seriously, swimming like he is. You know, I have to wonder, like, if he's swimming like that, that's the butterfly stroke, you know? That's not something you normally do unless you're, like, a serious swimmer, I guess. I mean, there's no reason why somebody couldn't casually do it, but that's something you do in, like, competition swimming. Yeah, he really is taking a serious approach towards everything. And, maybe him, like, smashing something with a stick, that's not a good idea when there are other people around. I mean, I guess the point of the game is that, you have to guide the blindfolded person, but, boy, if they're not diligent in guiding him, you could smack somebody with that stick and do some real damage. I'm wondering if that might not be the case, Yeah, I'm wondering what the deal was, why she just sort of, like, wandered in the path of that stick. Obviously she's mesmerized, but, now Takeo's gonna be mesmerized too. It's kinda cute in a way that everybody's sort of jittery, rather. I mean, I guess, Makoto is keeping a level head here, saying, hey dude, keep it together. Be rational about this, it's only clothes. I feel like this composure might not necessarily last. Alright, so now they're playing, like, modified volleyball. I feel like something's gonna happen here. There's too much attention being paid towards swimwear and stuff like that. I feel like there's gotta be, like, a wardrobe malfunction at some point. If nothing else, this is a pretty nice display of athleticism that Takeo has managed to basically outlast everybody else at this sort of elimination volleyball. Yeah, I think Makoto has the right idea, because he seems kind of over this whole thing. And like, the beach is nice and all, but, like, spending a whole day, like, I don't know. It's not for me, I guess. So I guess this is, a big deal now. Skin-to-skin contact and all that. I mean, it seems to be sort of a continuation of that earlier issue in that, Yamato's embarrassed about this whole ordeal, but she does want it, and she also can't quite communicate it. I mean, fortunately, Takeo is, maybe not none the wiser, but he's sort of, like, innocently ignorant, I guess, which prevents it from becoming a real issue. He offers a substitute. Oh, dear. Okay, so I thought the issue was going to be that those women were going to be creeped out by Takeo, but as it turns out, no, they're admiring him, which, that's not something I'd imagine he normally has to deal with. Poor Takeo. He has no idea. I guess it's kind of interesting that Yamato wants to, I guess, sort of induce the effect she's suffering from on Takeo, but unfortunately, I guess he's maintaining his composure, so she's gonna have to make the first move. Which, it's no bad thing or anything, but I'd imagine she's not totally accustomed to doing something like that. I guess the question is, what happens? Does she actually go through with it? Unfortunately, it seems like the answer is no. Oh dear. Alright, so she's proposed that they sort of go over to those rocks off in the distance alone. Yeah, her friends know what this means, even if it's not true. I mean, he thinks, hey, let's just go catch some crabs. Figuratively, of course. Or actually, literally, like actual crabs. The little ones that scuttle around. But, I don't think that's really what anybody has in mind. I mean, I guess, good on Takeo preventing Yamato from treading on a sandcastle. Although, can you blame her too much for being so flustered? Ah. He tried so hard, but, rest in peace, sandcastle. Now, I guess good on him for helping fix it, but I feel like maybe Yamato should have been the first priority. Once again, Makoto comes in clutch to sort of bail him out. Hey, I'll take care of the sandcastle, you keep your eye on the prize, dude. And I guess an indeterminate amount of time has passed, seeing as how it's now basically sunset. I guess it's fortuitous, because that's kind of what Takeo wanted this entire time, to witness the sunset with her. Alright, so this is good. They're actually talking out what the issue is. And, to be fair, I don't think it's, really that much of an issue, all told, Like, if you're doing something for the first time in a situation like this, you're bound to get a little flustered. I think she's just kind of being too hard on herself, and, now's a good time to tell her that she's being too hard on herself. But, I suppose, it could probably wait, enjoy the sunset and all that. That is, after all, what Takeo had been, I guess, kind of fixated on. That has got to be a pretty beautiful thing, too, but something tells me that, Takeo's going to make some sort of statement like even the beauty of the sunset pales in comparison to her. Yeah, I think this is a good opportunity to say some serious stuff. If nothing else, that's a nice gesture, leaving the drawing in the sand. And, it won't stay forever, but at least it can stay for now. Yeah, I think you might, there we go. Alright. I'm thinking this is like the best possible outcome. Like a genuine admission of love and all that, and mutually too. Of course. I guess the moment's over, you know. It could have been a nice little kiss by the sunset, but, you know, I guess, we can't get too greedy. You know, I can only imagine we'll have a nice, first kiss later. Alright, so that's a little foreshadowing, I think, like a school festival or a summer festival or whatever where they wear yukatas and all that. I mean, that's a classic too. I feel like a lot of anime do stuff like that, or, you know, it shows up frequently. Personally, I quite like it, so, you know, I think it'd be nice to see one of those episodes in here too. And seeing as how they're mentioning it, I feel like it's going to be the next episode or the one after. Although that said, you know, I feel like the other shoe represented by those miserable grades hasn't quite dropped yet, you know. There's got to be consequences at some point. As much as I hate to say it. Oh, that's a nice little thing to end on. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. Merry Christmas, Space Cowboy.